Nostrand and Fulton, a key site in what is now referred to as the Harlem Riots. Bed-Stuy has historically been a central location of art and resistance for Black people in New York City. How'd we get here? Well, the Harlem Renaissance meant Harlem was packed to the brimmy brim. The creation of the A and C train in 1936 connected Harlem to Brooklyn, and many Black families packed their bags and left Harlem in search of better living conditions, which led them to Bed-Stuy. My family was one of those families. But the Bed-Stuy I knew 10 years ago is not the Bed-Stuy of today. My question is, how much of change is natural and how much of it is violence?
Who told you to buy a brownstone on my block, in my neighborhood, on my side of the street? Yo, what you want to live in a black neighborhood for anyway, man? Motherfuck gentrification.
Are you doing something here? Because I need to do some outdoor work in a second.
This is my house. Or at least it used to be. 222 Macon Street. Generations of women in my family lived and died here. What was once mine was now closed off to me. And now I can hardly recognize the street.
A lot of construction work because there's a lot of people living here now, and they need the pipes to accommodate, you know, the new families here, there's new people here. So they're doing the gas pipes now. They're going to do the electricity soon. Yes. And then they're going to change the water pipes. They're changing all the water pipes out also.
And they weren't doing this when there was all Black families here.
No.
They did not care.
Especially that new light on the corner, and that's a block of a school. A school is there.
Yeah.
And we now have a light and everything, which it took us. We used to fight for a light, and we couldn't get a light.
My family was one of the first Black families to sell their home on Macon Street. Little did we know that there would be a wave following behind us. How many of your neighbors have you seen leave and sell their house in the past couple years?
How many original people are left on the block?
Basically, yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5 families. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 4 or 5 families.
Every day there's an offer, someone leaving notes. Do you want to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house? And they ravage the neighborhood.
You want to offer to buy your house or whatever. Just throw a number out there. And, in the neighborhood, you could say a million or whatever, but it's still not actually worth what it might mean to you or what you can actually do with it. So,
most of them lost their property due to a mortgage scam. So the stock market crashed, and a lot of them went into foreclosure, and then people was buying the homes around here like balloons. In other words, they'll buy 10, 15 houses for a certain amount of money, and that's what took control of the neighborhood. Brooklyn became a prime real estate, and especially after the 9/11, everybody moved from Manhattan, and after 2001, that's when the biggest change had came in the neighborhood. Plus, the buildings were cheaper. They were living at a higher rate, maybe $6,000 or $7,000, so they came and just bought up all of the properties. And that's what changed the neighborhood.
We're going to turn it into, I'm not sure exactly, but I think, just regular residential,
Yeah.
Probably maybe going to split it up into a couple of units, but it's a nice area. So.
You're going to try to turn it into some of the other newer housing that you see on the block?
Yeah, very, popping area nowadays.
Yeah, it is. Why? Do you think it's a prime area? Have your parents talked to you about that?
Yeah. All over Brooklyn, places like this, if you look at the properties, they're all beautiful. These buildings right here, brick, they just look beautiful. And people really want to move here.
Where's your father from?
He's from Israel.
The marshals and the sheriff came, put everybody out. The man that came in that's supposed to be doing the renovation saying that he gonna modernize the house and put it up for sale. Not saying that he's gonna make anything affordable for someone to live next door, but he's gonna put it up for sale. The same sale that went up on the last 3 houses that they put down there for $2.1 million, 2.2.
So people need housing over here, and it drives up the prices is also good for some people.
For who? This historically black neighborhood has been turned into a commodity. In these times, I am reminded that capital never stands still. It only marches forward, extending its power, growing richer, replacing old plants and equipment with new ones, old residents with new ones, acquiring new undertakings, or in this case, new homes.
The rent price is so high, that my children, they have to leave the state. They left the state to be able to afford, to live in their own apartment. They had to leave New York.
Do y'all think, if people did sell their homes, would they ever be able to come back here?
To buy it back?
Again? Yeah, to buy it back, or even live here, rent.
You gotta be very rich.
Yeah, at that point, you have to have some bread.
Yeah.
A self-indulgent question, I know. I love Bed-Stuy, and I always will. But I don't have any bourgeois aspirations. So my only question now is, what is to be done?
I woke up this morning, can't even get out of my door. That's enough trouble to make a poor girl wonder where she wanna go. Then they rowed a little boat about 5 miles across the pond. Then they rowed a little boat about 5 miles across the pond. I packed all my clothes, threw them in, and they rowed me along. When it thunders and lightning and the wind began to blow. When it thunders and lightning and the wind began to blow. There's thousands of people ain't got no place to go. Then I went and stood up on some high old lonesome